Hey, here we are with reading 16. The thing I'm wondering about is poor Worm and what happened to Worm when the hunters were there and we heard Worm cry and Swift kept running. And I always wonder why Swift didn't go back. Don't you wonder that, Roxy? Huh? Don't you? Yeah. And you really realize when you read a book like this what a struggle it is for animals to live in the wild. And we're kind of seeing it firsthand with Swift and the wolf called Wander. So here we are with reading 16 already. We're at least halfway done with the book. Everything here is different. The smell of the wind, the color of the dirt. I look, smell for elk, but there are none. I listen for the howls of a pack that might take me in, but at sundown, I only hear the thin voices of crickets and toads. And when I turn to search for the horizon for my home ground, I cannot even see the mountains. I know where they should be, but I cannot see them. This open land has nothing to break it. No trees, no rivers, and no border marks of wolves. Everything, everywhere I look, smells the same. The ground is not completely flat. There are bumps, gullies, slow rising land with stripes of rusty and sandy colored dirt. Gently falling land with more streaks of black, brown, and red. The wind is so dry, the skin on my nose cracks. I grow stronger every day, stronger in my body. But the farther I get from the mountains, the harder it is, to hold up my tail. There's no one here to care for and wrestle with and share the smells with. No one to sing with, no tails to catch, no ears to nip. No one to sit shoulder to shoulder with and watch the wolf star as it rises before the sun. I bet the wolf star is the planet Venus because that's the morning star, even though it's a planet. Wow, that's cool. I always wondered what he meant by the wolf star. Even a summer night is cold. Listen to this. Even a summer night is cold when you sleep alone. The next chapter is called Almost. After many days of walk, trot, eat, rest, we find something completely new. Now, who would the we be? Well, it would be Swift and the raven. Isn't that something? The raven is still with him. Wow. My raven, flying ahead as usual, appears to sit down in midair. Not soaring on the rising air, not hovering, sitting in the middle of the air. I approach slowly. A raven has her tricks, but as I get closer, I see she's sitting on a thin gray line. It runs straight like the rows of the mint fields, straight like the Black River. It must be a man-made thing. I growl, crouch, sniff. There's only a faint, long-ago scent of men. I listen in every direction. Nothing. The air is still, and the shadows are short. I come to the gray lines watchfully. My raven pokes at her feathers, shakes out her wings. There's no fear in her. I come closer. There are 3 lines of gray, low, middle, and high. Branches grow through the lines and stick into the ground. It is the oddest thing yet. So here I can do it right as a picture of that. So it's a fence. It's a fence line is what he's talking about. I was thinking it was like an electric line, but then when they were talking about layers of them, it's a fence. The lines catch tumbleweeds. They make a roosting spot for birds. What man would need that? There's no understanding them. When I lean against the lines, they lean but do not fall. No matter, it's easy to jump over them. I'm ready to move on when I catch a whiff of something familiar. I follow the lines until I find tufts of white sheep covering. I do not need such coyote food. We ate a rabbit yesterday, and if I can find water, I may take a deer while it's drinking. there's another smell in with the sheep, a better smell. I nose along the lines until I find a tuft of fur. It is white, but not so fluffy as sheep covering. It is true fur, too long and too pale for deer or elk. Wrong smell for fox or coyote. It's not a wolf smell, but it's a wolf-like smell. Whoa, any thoughts on that? I have a guess. I won't share it yet. I have been so long away from my family, I throw back my head and howl. An answer comes, carried in the wind. It's not a howl, not a coyote's high-pitched yip. It's a deep voice and strange to my ear. Oof, oof. Now you know what it is. What if I said ruff, ruff? Then you really know. I answer without thinking. Here I am. Who are you? Oof, oof, oof. The almost wolf calls back. I cannot quite catch the meaning. I call again. My tail is high in the air and wagging like a pup. I swivel my ears to pinpoint the sound. Oof, the almost wolf says. I do not care what it means. I take off running, and as I draw closer, the smell becomes stronger. The confusing, almost wolf smell of it drives me wild. If only it were not mixed in with sheep smells, I could remember if I've smelled it before. And as I draw closer, the sheep smell grows stronger too, and that could mean trouble. I slow down to make my run silent and pick my approach, for the wind will not carry news of me. And that is the end of reading 16. This is kind of exciting. So go get your Google Doc and fill out your summary along with your questions, predictions, and feelings and thoughts.